Destroy WrestleTalk.
Thanks for being an awesome pledgehammer on Patreon, the event known as Chris Anderson to decide the best in the world. Shane McMahon turns heel on The Miz, Ronda Rousey makes sure Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania, and cards subject to change as new matches are added and some matches are changed, as if WWE just wanted to screw with our beautiful and perfect Wrestle League predictions. I am Luke Owen, press the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button quicker than Vince McMahon changes his mind, and leave a comment down below to answer our question of the day. What was your match of the night? And vote in the poll above my head to let me know what you thought of the show, where you can choose from the best of both worlds, great per view, thumbs in the middle, meh per view, and the worst of both worlds. This is WWE Fastlane, baby, 2019. Despite advertising Andrade versus Rey Mysterio for the kickoff show, card subject to change, WWE announced New Day will instead take on the formidable team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, who continued their non-winning ways by losing in a decent match which had not one, but two shrink screen adverts. Eventually, New Day hit the up, up, down, down for the win. It did nothing for either team, but it did mean we didn't have to listen to Jonathan Coachman for 10 minutes. Hometown boy Miz came out to a hero's welcome as the show kicked off proper for his tag match against the Usos with co-bestie Shane McMahon. Oh, Miz, you're totally getting turned on in your hometown, aren't you? This was a pretty basic tag match, elevated by a hot crowd who wanted to see Miz succeed, including the always magnificent Miz Dad and his marvelous mustache at ringside. There was one horrible looking spot though where Shane and Jey Uso had a top rope stare off before Shane drop kicked him in midair as Jey tried to splash Miz. And despite chants of "Let's go Miz" from Miz Dad, Miz missed a frog splash and was rolled up for an Usos retention. But the real story came after the match, because after getting a lovely looking hug from Miz Dad, Shane McMahon attacked Miz from behind and beat him up round ringside, completing his heel turn by even attacking Miz Dad. This was a really good turn from Shane, even if the triangle submission looked a bit unconvincing, and it was really helped by the hot crowd who booed everything he did. And I can't imagine this will happen, but I would love for this to lead to Vince and Shane McMahon versus Miz and Miz Dad at WrestleMania. Book it, Vince, you coward! Baron Corbin's Midcard of Evil cut a Shield-style promo backstage, and then Elias came out for a concert segment where he made fun of Miz Dad and got some cheap your local sports team heat about hoop ball goals or something. I think it was about the star of Space Jam 2. In the opening video package for Fastlane Baby, Toddington Tom Phillips said that Asuka was a dominant women's champion, clearly forgetting that prior to this match she's been 0 for 1 since the Royal Rumble. The crowd were unsurprisingly quiet for the match, which featured some awful looking knees by Mandy Rose, who then slipped on the ring apron which had been lifted by Sonya Deville, allowing Asuka to kick Rose right in the face for the win. In typical WWE fashion, they introduce women's tag team championships and then start a storyline to split up one of their more established teams. And this was just another damp squib for Asuka's title reign, who has been rudderless since her feud with Becky Lynch. During the kickoff show, we saw that Vince McMahon had demanded to meet with Kofi Kingston about the WWE Championship match later that night. And card subject to change, he actually made Kofi face the Bar in a tornado handicap match, which saw the Bar beat up Kofi for a long time. And just when you thought it was over, the Bar beat down Kofi some more to thunderous "This is boring" chants. New Day ran down for the save but were thwarted by Rusev and Nakamura, allowing the Bar to pick up the win. Hang on a second, a wrestler from Japan, a Bulgarian, someone from Switzerland, and an Irishman? This is going to be the League of Nations all over again, isn't it? No, you didn't accidentally skip back on the WWE Network time bar. Elias really did come out for another concert segment for some local cheap heat. Look, WWE, this show is already 3.5 hours long. Did we need 3 of these Elias segments? A couple of years ago, the Revival were part of one of the greatest triple threat tag team matches I've ever seen, facing off against DIY and the Authors of Pain at NXT TakeOver Orlando. This triple threat tag match against Bobby Roode and Chad Gable and NXT call-ups Aleister Black and Ricochet was not quite on the same level as that, but it did pick up towards the end with some really good near falls, with Chad Gable falling to the Revival's Shadow Machine for them to retain their titles. Fun fact, everyone in this match held gold in NXT, with Roode and Black being former NXT champions, the Revival and Chad Gable holding tag team titles, and Ricochet is a former North American champion. See, this channel can be educational, even if I do struggle with Roman numerals sometimes. Remember when Rey Mysterio and Andrade were going to face off on the kickoff show? Card subject to change, this turned into Samoa Joe defending his newly won United States Championship in a SmackDown Live rematch against Mysterio, Andrade, and R-Truth. While it could be argued that this wasn't quite as good as the SmackDown match match earlier in the week, it still had a lot of great action, including some truly wild spots. There were also some really good and believable near falls, eventually seeing Joe drag Rey Mysterio into the coquina clutch to retain his title. There was a lot of drama here that made you think there could be a title change, and for me this was my personal match of the night, even if it did spoil the Wrestle League predictions somewhat. One another fun fact, not including the Royal Rumble, this is Andrade's first main roster pay-per-view match to feature on the main card. For the record, he's been on the main roster now for nearly a full calendar year. Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix came out for commentary for Boss and Hug Connection defending their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Nia Jax and Tamina, although I think she did. I'm not sure she said anything during the whole match. And I'll be honest, this was pretty sloppy at times, with Jax falling over trying to do a pop-up Samoan drop and then failing to catch Sasha Banks' dive through the ropes. Bayley cradled Nia for a pretty boring win, and she and Banks were then beaten up round ringside by the heels. Beth Phoenix got up from the commentary desk and attacked Tamina, but she was also laid out by the heels. Thankfully, Natalya ran down for the save, but she was also beaten down by the heels. With the Iconics calling out Bayley and Banks on the kickoff show, and Natty coming to save Beth, that rumored Four Corners tag match at WrestleMania now seems to be on the cards, just without the previously suggested Sky Pirates from NXT. There was more cards subject to change as Daniel Bryan defended his WWE Championship in a triple threat match against Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali. As you would expect, this was a really well-worked match with some awesome spots, particularly from the spectacular Mustafa Ali, but the crowd just wanted to see Kofi Kingston. So say what you will about WWE, but this Kofi getting screwed out of title matches storyline is really working. The crowd did get more into this match by the end and saw Bryan retain the title with a running knee on a diving Ali. And because apparently this show was supposed to be called Heel Lane, Rowan claw slammed Ali for some more heel heat. Raw commentators provided commentary for SmackDown's Becky Lynch taking on SmackDown Charlotte Flair to be added to the WrestleMania match against Raw's Ronda Rousey for her Raw Women's title. Brand split, LOL, but this was more of an angle than anything else, with Flair working over Lynch's leg to light Becky chance, but then kayfabe breaking Ronda Rousey ran down to hit Becky and cause the DQ, meaning Becky Lynch has now been officially added to the WrestleMania title match. And this was a pretty damp way of getting her into that match, and this feud really is losing heat and steam by the second. I still think it will be a great match when all is said and done, don't get me wrong, but this storyline has been needlessly convoluted. Elias came out for his third concert segment of the night where he did some more your local sports team jokes about base bat gamed with touchdowns or something. Lacey Evans did a catwalk gimmick for no reason whatsoever, and Randy Orton RKO'd Elias from out of nowhere, only to get laid out by an AJ Styles phenomenal forearm, setting up a WrestleMania match that was actually rumored last year, although that will likely get changed to a triple threat match because, you know, cards subject to change and all that. And in the main event, The Shield took on Baron Corbin's Midcard of Evil in a match that was 2/3 boring Raw main event and 1/3 holy heck I love the Shield, they're the best faction ever, this totally rules. The commentators made a lot of references to the fact that Dean Ambrose is leaving the company in April, lending credence to the idea that he has actually signed a new deal with WWE. Or this was one big work from day one, though I'm not sure who they were supposed to be working. I don't know either way to be honest, but if this is the last ride the Shield will ever take on pay-per-view, I'm glad we got it. Corbin's Midcard of Evil were mostly ineffectual, just there to be knocked about on the outside, put through a table with a triple powerbomb, or beaten down in the ring in the case of Baron Corbin. Seth Rollins loudly asked for one more mother effing triple powerbomb, giving the Shield a win to a great reaction. The three of them then did the fist bump for perhaps the last time ever. Apart from those house shows where they're being advertised in April. You know, card subject to change, etc. This was a pretty wild show with all of the card changes, some of which were actually for the better, and the in-ring action for the most part was really good. The US Championship match was great, the triple threat tag team match really picked up by the end, as did the WWE Championship match, and it was really great seeing the Shield do what they do best for possibly the last time on pay-per-view. This was a stopgap before we got to Mania, and the show did have that stench about it, but it did do a great job in getting over Kofi Kingston's storyline as he heads into WrestleMania, and we could finally start promoting the triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship rather than pretending it was just going to be Flair versus Rousey. WWE Fastlane 2019 baby was a great pay-per-view, baby. What What was Ronda Rousey on about in her YouTube video where she said wrestling was all scripted and made up and whatnot? It's still real to me, damn it. Click the video on screen to hear Laurie and I discuss that in the Wrestle Ramble, and thank you to all of our pledge hammers on Patreon who are scrolling into my stomach. Get your name in those credits by clicking the link over there. I've been Luke Owen, and that was wrestling.